Hey everyone, I'm Lauren McMillan, and today we are doing a full body sequence with a focus on opening the hips. Let's get started. We'll begin today in child's pose, so take the knees out wide to give a little more room for the hips. Big toes come together, heels fall apart. Let your hips drop toward your heels as your fingertips reach forward. Let your forehead relax on your mat. Taking a few deep breaths in and out through the nose. Noticing right away how your body is feeling. Noticing any tension that you may be holding in your shoulders, in your jaw, and especially in the hips. See if you can soften with each exhale. Take one more breath here. Exhaling completely. Start to lift your hips. Come to a tabletop position, stacking shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. You can wiggle the hips around. Start to loosen up the lower back. Moving through the spine. And as you come back through center, soften your elbows. Take an inhale, drop the belly down, lift your heart, lift your hips for cow pose. As you exhale, scoop your belly round your spine, drop your chin toward your chest for cat. Again, inhale to lift up for cow. Exhale, round into cat. Let's do that 2 more times, following your breath. We'll come back to center, returning to a neutral spine. Tuck your right toes under, extend your right leg toward the back of your mat. Take a few beats here to hinge forward onto your toes, and then press back through the heel, opening up through the calf, warming up the ankle. The next time you come forward, lift your right leg off the ground. Take your left arm out in front, so opposite arm is leg. Think about hugging everything toward your midline. From here, bend your right leg. You can hold this position or swim the left arm back around, finding your foot, maybe your ankle. Roll your left shoulder back, kick your foot into your hand, and then maybe let it lift up. Gently release and lower your hand and your knee down. Move the hips around. And make your way back to center, moving to the other side, tucking your left toes under. Send the left leg back. A few moments here to hinge forward onto your toes and press back through the heel. As you come forward next, lift the left leg up. Extend your right arm out in front this time. Everything hugs to center. Bend into the left leg. Remember, you can stay here or sweep the right arm back, finding your foot or your ankle. Roll your shoulder back, kick your foot into your hand. Start to lift up. Opening through the chest, the shoulder, the quad. Breathing for 3, 2, and 1. Gently release and lower your right hand down and your left knee. Move the hips around. Coming back through center, tuck your toes under. Press your palms into the mat. Ground down through the palms, draw your core in. Hover your knees just an inch above the mat, feeling the core start to fire, maybe start to shake. Breathe for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower the knees for 1 breath, and then lift your knees again. This time send the hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Pedal out through your feet. Finding a still downward dog, sweep the right leg up, bend your knee, open up your hip, trying to stack the right hip on top of the left. Option to lift through the left heel, straighten the leg, square the hips, lower the right foot down, switch sides, left leg lifts, bend your knee, start to open your hip. Maybe lifting through the right heel. Straighten the legs, square the hips, lower the left foot down. As you inhale, lift both heels high. Soften your knees, look forward, step, walk, or lightly hop to the front of your mat. Find a forward fold. On an inhale, lift up halfway, roll your shoulders down your back. Think about reaching the crown of your head and your heart forward as your tailbone goes back, and then exhale, fold. Press down through both feet, come up with a long spine, reach the arms overhead. And then lower your hands down through heart center, shift your weight into the balls of the feet, lift your heels high. Lower the heels down, soften into your knees, hinge at the hips, keeping your hands in front of your heart. Heart is lifting toward the thumbs for chair pose. Sink a little bit lower, maybe extend the arms out in front of you. And then on an exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway, long spine. Exhale, fold, lower your hands down, step the left leg back into a lunge, drop the left knee down, let your hips reach forward. Inhale, reach the arms up. As you exhale, take both hands to the inside of the right foot, heel toe your foot toward the outer edge of your mat, opening the toes at about 45 degrees to give more room for the hip, and then start to make circles with your hips going in either direction. Coming back to center, you can stay on your hands. You can drop down to your forearms for a deeper stretch. You can also bend the back leg, reaching back with the right or the left hand, finding your foot or your ankle, roll the shoulder back, and just like we did earlier, kick your foot away from you, open through the chest. Gently release. Heel toe your right foot toward the center of your mat again. Tuck the back toes, lift the knee. Step back, downward facing dog. As you inhale, lift your heels high. Bend your knees, look forward. Step, walk, or hop. Forward fold at the front of your mat. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. This time, step the right leg back. Lower the right knee down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower both hands to the inside of your left foot. Heel toe your foot out wide. Turn the toes out. And then start to draw circles with the hips, loosening up through the hip joint a bit further. Making your way back to center. You can stay up on your hands or drop down to your forearms. And remember, you can always bend into the right leg, reaching back, finding the left foot, rolling your shoulder open, kicking your foot into your hand. And then release. Bring both hands down, heel toe your left foot toward the center of your mat. Tuck the toes, lift the back leg. Let's bend into the leg and step forward, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold, press down through both feet, come all the way up to stand. And hands meet together in front of your heart. Hinge at your hips, come back into chair pose. Option to keep both heels down or shift your weight into the balls of the feet, lift your heels. You can stay here with the spine upright or sweep your arms down and back, reaching through the fingertips behind you. Hinge at the hips, leaning forward slightly and keeping the core engaged, keeping the heart lifted. If the heels are lifted, lower them down, reach the arms in front of you, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold from here. Bend your knees, step the left leg back, spin the left heel down. Let's open up to warrior two. Sinking into the right knee, making sure you can still see your right big toe. Flip the right palm up, reach forward and back, reverse warrior. Release to warrior two. Take forearm to thigh for extended side angle. Dropping down through the hips. As you inhale, come back up and then reach all the way over to the left, coming into Skandasana. Now, if your knees do not want to cooperate with bending all the way down, just take this into a higher side lunge, moving back and forth. Otherwise, drop down into the hips, pick the toes up on the opposite foot every time you move from side to side. And you can use your hands to help you, or maybe don't use your hands at all. Pressing down through each foot as you shift your weight. We're making our way toward warrior two on the other side. So walk yourself over toward your left foot. Rotate the left toes so they're facing the short edge of your mat. Right foot is spinning to the right. Come on up, warrior two. Flip the left palm up, reach forward and back. Release to warrior two, find extended side angle. Inhale back up to warrior two. Straighten through the left leg this time. Rotate your left foot. Roll your shoulders back, open through the heart, and then hinge forward, keeping your spine long, shoulders draw back. On an exhale, release all the way down. Let your head, neck, and shoulders relax. Press down through the outer edges of your feet. On an inhale, lift up halfway. Bring your hands in front of you, right below your face or a little more in front. Start to heel toe your feet toward one another, keeping the feet wider than the hip, a little wider than the shoulders, and then start to drop your hips down into malasana or a yogi squat. Again, you can keep your heels lifted here. You can have something underneath your hips. Either way, think about pressing your elbows into your knees, lift your heart toward your thumbs, keep your spine long, and if you'd like, you can gently shift your hips from side to side. If you're moving, come back to center. Take your right hand over to the right, pinning your right leg back. Open your left arm, open through your chest. Release, lower the left hand down. Keep the left knee back, open through the right arm. Release, lower the right hand down, shift your hands forward, lift through your hips, rotate your feet so that they're parallel again. Heel toe the feet a little closer together. Inhale, lift up halfway. Bring your hands to your hips and then press all the way up to stand. Turn to face the original front of your mat. Inhale, lift up. Grab onto your left wrist with your right fingers, reach up, take a side bend to the right. Come up through center, switch your grip, lift up, reach over to the left. Inhale, come up through center. You can stay standing here. We're going to come into a twist. So if you're standing, sweep the left arm down and back, twisting behind you. Otherwise, sink into the hips for chair pose, and you're adding the same twist. Inhale, come forward, lifting up, and either staying standing or sinking into your hips, twisting to the right. Inhale, come up through center. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold, bend your knees, plant your hands, walk yourself back to a high plank. Knees can be lifted or lowered. And then we're gonna come all the way down onto our mats. Untuck the feet, press the tops of your feet down. Roll your shoulders back, lift your heart, cobra. Exhale, lower. Tuck your toes, coming up either through a tabletop position or moving through plank. Come back to downward dog. As you inhale, pick the right leg up. On your exhale, bring right knee toward right wrist, moving into half pigeon. Wiggle the left foot back. Squaring your hips, try to even out the weight between your hips as much as you can. If you have any issues with your lower back or with your knee, you'll do the same position but from your back so that there's less pressure on the joints. Otherwise, you can stay on your hands or drop down to the forearms or all the way down to the floor. Take one more breath here. If you're down on your forearms or all the way down, press up to your hands, tuck your back toes, lift the knee, send the leg back, shake it out. If you're on your back already, just uncross the legs and we'll switch sides. Pick the left leg up, exhale, bring it forward, place the leg down, bring your right leg back, squaring your weight, and then finding your pigeon stretch on this side. Carefully press up to your hands, tuck the right toes, lift the knees, send the leg back, shake it out. If you're on your back, just uncross the legs, lower the foot down, and then gently release your knees. Swing your hips out in front. Bring your left foot in, extend your right leg out at an angle here. Right foot is flexed, place your right hand on your leg. Left arm reaches up, take a side bend to the right. As you inhale, come up, place your left hand down, shift your weight forward, lift the hips open through your heart. And then release, lower back down. We'll switch sides. Right foot comes in, left leg extends out, flex through the foot, place your hand on your leg, right arm reaches up, come into a side stretch. Inhale up, plant the right hand down, press your hips forward, open through the left arm. And then gently release. Bring the soles of your feet together. You can have your feet as close to you as you'd like, or for a little more space in the hips, take the legs and the feet further away. In either position, roll your shoulders back, lengthen through your spine, hug your elbows close to your waist, and then hinge forward with a long spine. Try to keep the tailbone sticking out slightly. And then when you've reached your limit, you can relax, round your spine, fold over the legs. Start to roll up through your spine. Take your right shin, place it so that it's parallel to the edge of your mat. Your left foot is going to rest on top of the right knee, and you might already be feeling a hip stretch here. If so, this is where you stay. If not, see if you can bring your left knee a little bit closer or all the way down towards your right foot so that the shins are stacked for fire log. You can take your palms, press them into the soles of your feet here. And just as we did previously, think about lengthening through your spine. And then if there's more, you can hinge forward, maybe even folding over the legs, maybe reaching the arms out in front, letting the head relax. If you're folded forward, walk yourself back up. From here, pick your left leg up, wiggle your right foot toward the outside of your left hip, plant the left foot on the outside of your right thigh. If your foot is rolling all the way up, then just plant your left foot down here. So both feet are on the left side. Otherwise, cross it over. Bring your left hand so that it's behind you. Reach the right arm up and come into a twist. You can wrap your arm around your leg, giving yourself a hug, or you can hook your elbow toward the outside of the knee and maybe look over the left shoulder. Start to unwind, uncross the legs, and we'll take left shin on bottom, right foot on top. Placing your heel on top of your knee. Again, either staying here or pressing your knee down towards your foot, but not forcing it. And you can stay here or start to fold forward. Start to walk yourself back up if you folded forward. As you pick your left leg up, bring your left foot toward the outside of your right hip. Right foot will either land on the right side or cross it over. Flatten your foot down on the left. Right hand plants behind you. Inhale, reach the arm up and find your twist. Hooking the elbow or wrapping your arm around your leg. Inhale, lengthen through your spine. Exhale as you twist. Carefully unwind. Take both legs out in front of you to shake the knees out, and then we'll finish in a seated position. So finding a comfortable seat, sitting tall through your spine, bring your hands to your knees, roll your shoulders up, back, and down. As you inhale, sweep both arms up. And exhale, bring your hands together in front of your heart. Thank you for joining me for this short practice. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.